taking a brief break from work.
Vicky, I want to go outside.
All non-essential personnel are advised to remain in quarantine.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, Leo sent me a screener for Merge, and this 2024 anthology film has a bunch of different directors, as it's like 6 little stories, and a bunch of different actors as well, like Bella Baptiste, Joe Dempsie, and Eric Cale, among others, of course. So with this one, it is an anthology film, so it's kind of like 6 little stories all combined, and they're all sci-fi themed as well. Let's see if I can remember them. I think it starts off with one where they're in a utopia, but there's one guy who sells fear. So he has a drug that creates fear because, in a perfect world, that might be what you're missing. The next story is about a person who falls in love with like an AI program, but they're like a programmer for the AI world. And then I guess they get like security hacked or something, and it's a whole big deal. You know how it all is. Then after that, there's one where this robot, her owner dies, and then the daughters are, taking care of the house or whatever. And the robot says, hey, can I just like go out for a walk? And they say, sure. So this robot just walks around, and it looks just like, a human. It's kind of more of an android. And so it just walks around. It finds some disabled people to help, some elderly to help, and, just goes around helping people. And that's, saying something, I guess, has a certain message to it. After that, there is a time travel story. So this guy travels back in time to his first date with his wife, but then kind of screws it up. So, it has some kind of ideas in it as well. After that, there's a woman who is living her apartment life as there's some type of contagion outside, but it turns out that she's actually kind of like held there by her AI assistant. And so her AI assistant is blocking calls, blocking packages, all this stuff to keep her inside. Then the final one is about a robot that gets recalled. And again, all these robots just look like humans. They're all androids. So he goes back to the factory and they ask him, what's going on? And then he meets another robot, and the robot has wants. And he's like, well, I didn't know robots could have wants and stuff like that. So it is also, another kind of statement about what AI could do or what AI should do even. And yeah, I think that is the 6 of them. So, each of them are in there, and they're all just kind of, put there together. All right, so let's discuss this film. Well, with this one, since it is an anthology, it's got lots of variety, and I would say I enjoyed at least half of them, or at least, really liked half of them. The other half, maybe not so much. I just kind of thought the message or, what they were going for was not as kind of poignant or relevant even. The ones that I did like with the AI, trapping someone in their apartment, I thought that one was like really clever, and they certainly have clever aspects to some of the other ones as well. With the ones where it's about androids walking around or whatever, I enjoyed those. I enjoyed kind of the message that it was trying to say about what is artificial intelligence, and even then what level of kind of control does it have over itself, and things like that. So all of the AI stuff, I really enjoyed. The one with the time traveler, that one was okay. It's not, the best. I think that's kind of one of the shorter ones as well. The one with the woman falling in love with an AI thing is kind of fun, but I thought it was more about the security stuff that was the fun element to it. And then the very first one, I don't think it starts off on a strong note. I think it ends on a stronger note than it does start. But the first one I thought was just like not very much of anything really. There's like no story in any of these because they are so short. There's no character development or anything like that, so it's really just about kind of that message that it's trying to get across. And for the most part, they're effective. Even the one that I didn't particularly like, I got the message. I understood kind of what it was going for. So yeah, there are some kind of good sci-fi ideas in this anthology film. The other thing I would say with this anthology film is that they're all like micro budgeted ones, and I think that they do a lot with what they got. It's really kind of bare bones, but at the same time they are very effective in showing, androids or whatever. And it's all very kind of subtle too. Like androids are just, people walking around, actors walking around. So it is kind of impressive what they do with having so limited, technology around them. So I would certainly, do big props for that. Like all of the ideas come across and they do it in a very effective way. And I think that brings me to what doesn't work with this one. Well, like many anthology films, there's always, weakest links in this one. I would say with this, there's also a problem where they don't indicate the new story is starting. There's no credits, no title card, no nothing. It just goes right into the next story. So for the first few stories, I was kind of confused with kind of what was going on. Like it completely changes these stories. And so it is kind of confusing, which is never, a good thing in any anthology film, to be confused with what you're watching, right? So that was certainly an issue in there. Other than that, as long as you don't mind low budget stuff, like it's perfectly fine. I said I was, impressed with how much sci-fi ideas they packed into these ones. I would just kind of classify it as like low sci-fi. Like nothing's really different from our world, even though, there's androids walking around and stuff, but this just looks like a normal human, right? So definitely not an impressive look to it, but the ideas, I guess, is what you're going for. So I wouldn't say it kind of hinders the experience, but probably not what some people are looking for when they are watching sci-fi. Also with this one, I would say there is a range of acting from, not so good to just okay. I wouldn't say anyone's doing a particularly good job. I understand they're supposed to be androids or, whatever, but at the same time, it's not the best acting in this. I would say that's probably the weakest link. Like all the other technical stuff, like the filming and the shooting is actually really well done. It's just the acting is not, eliciting emotion, I would say, from the audience. So that is, the weakest link. As for a recommendation, well, if you're looking to watch a little bit of sci-fi stuff, it's perfectly fine to press play on. Some nights I do the same. I just, put on some sci-fi short channel on YouTube and just, watch like 10 of them. This is just 6 of them. So if that's the type of night you want, some variety with some sci-fi, press play on this one. As for a rating, well, all things considered, I have to give it the okay score of 4. It is not quite, all the way up to average, and so I think it's just okay. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.